Every morning in the suburbs of America, a gentle and heartwarming ritual unfolds. As the first rays of daylight slowly disperse the lingering mist, you wake up, brew a hot cup of coffee, and step toward the window. Looking out at your backyard, you smile at the sight of the wooden feeder, fully stocked with premium sunflower seeds and ready for visitors. Just minutes later, vibrant cardinals and tiny goldfinches begin to swoop down, their wings beating rhythmically in the peaceful air. This sight brings a profound sense of connection, making you believe that you are carrying out a noble mission, protecting and nourishing these fragile creatures amid the harsh realities of the wild. You like to think that without your kindness, they would surely starve. Yet, reality tells a completely different story, a gentle secret that reshapes your entire perspective. If that bird feeder were to completely vanish tomorrow morning, the world of the birds outside would not falter for a second, and they would likely not even notice its absence. As it turns out, the vast majority of the nutrition keeping them alive comes from a grand, ancient system that remains entirely invisible to the human eye. A magnificent natural banquet has quietly sustained billions of birds for millions of years without requiring any human intervention whatsoever. To truly understand how this invisible banquet operates, we must examine the staggering reality of the numbers. North America is home to roughly 7.5 billion land birds, and every single one of those tiny creatures possesses a metabolic engine running at breakneck speed. A black-capped chickadee weighs a mere 11 grams. Yet to maintain its energy, it must consume an amount of food equivalent to 50 to 100% of its body weight every day. When spring arrives, this pressure intensifies like never before due to the relentless chirping of hungry nestlings. This is also when an ecological miracle takes place, completely overturning our assumptions about what birds eat. We often visit stores to buy massive bags of seed, assuming that birds prefer seeds above all else. However, during the breeding season, up to 96% of land birds switch to an entirely different diet: insects. Even species traditionally viewed as seed eaters, such as cardinals or sparrows, temporarily abandon their usual preferences. The reason is simple and deeply instinctual. Nestlings grow at lightning speed, requiring a massive amount of protein and fat to develop muscles and feathers, nutrients that dry seeds from a feeder can never adequately provide. Insects serve as the breast milk of the avian world during this critical phase. The sheer volume of insects consumed by birds globally amounts to around 400 to 500 million tons each year. Without these tiny hunters, pest populations would explode and devastate entire forests. But the question remains, where are all these insects hiding when we rarely see them in a meticulously manicured garden? The answer lies in the places humans least expect. They are tucked away deep beneath the leaf litter on the ground, under rough patches of tree bark, inside decaying wood, and especially on the undersides of green leaves. When you spot a warbler flitting through the branches, it is not wandering aimlessly. Behind those swift hops lies a highly sophisticated hunting strategy. Its sharp eyes search every crevice and leaf vein for plump, juicy caterpillars. A single native oak tree can host more than 50 species of caterpillars, transforming it into a massive supermarket for an entire bird family. A tiny bird can find and consume hundreds of insects each day, all of them fresh, nutrient-rich, and provided entirely free of charge by Mother Nature. This system has run flawlessly for millions of years, reminding us that the lives of birds are anchored firmly to the diversity of the insect world, not to artificial feeding stations. As the chilly winds of autumn arrive and the green canopy transforms into a vibrant golden blanket, the natural world enters a period of grand transition. The abundant insect supply of summer rapidly dwindles, leaving a massive void in the food chain. However, nature is never caught unprepared. At this exact moment, a new chapter of the invisible banquet unfolds, demonstrating a brilliant foresight that no artificial feeder could ever replicate. When native plants like wild sunflowers, coneflowers, and meadow grasses begin to wither, they do not die in vain. Their seed heads turn brown, packed with thousands of tiny seeds rich in oils and fats. A single patch of native meadow can produce millions of seeds per acre, creating a massive energy reserve that lasts throughout the winter. These seeds fall into the leaf litter and nestly into the soil, patiently waiting for feathered guests to harvest them. This is also when we witness the miraculous intelligence of these small birds. The black-capped chickadee is famous for its phenomenal survival skills during freezing winter days. Instead of relying on a risky daily search for food, it spends the autumn collecting thousands of native seeds and carefully hiding them in bark crevices, under rocks, or deep within vegetation. Astonishingly, the brain of this tiny bird actually expands in volume during the winter, allowing it to remember the exact location of each little treasure weeks later. This is an active survival strategy, a powerful instinct that allows them to master their own lives without waiting for human charity. Alongside seeds, autumn and winter bring a bounty of native berries. Shrubs such as dogwood, juniper, and sumac bear clusters of rich red and dark blue fruits full of nutrients. This is vital fuel for long-distance migratory flocks, such as cedar waxwings or robins. A flock of cedar waxwings can descend upon a fruit-laden tree and strip it clean in a matter of hours. This relationship represents a perfect symbiotic vow. The trees offer precious food to sustain the birds through the freezing months, and in return, the birds disperse the seeds across new lands after digesting the fruit, ensuring the continuous expansion of the forest. Everything moves rhythmically, seamlessly, and full of life, proving that nature always possesses enough abundance to care for her children through any storm. Now that we understand the richness of natural food sources, we can reevaluate the true role of artificial bird feeders. Numerous scientific studies from reputable ornithological organizations show that on a normal day, the food from backyard feeders contributes less than 10 to 25% of a native bird's total daily nutritional intake. For them, a feeder is like a roadside convenience store, a place to stop by for a quick energy boost when it is convenient, rather than a sole source of life or a mandatory survival system. However, a vital exception exists that we cannot overlook. This occurs when severe blizzards strike or when ice storms freeze over every branch, blade of grass, and patch of leaf litter. During those brutal winter days, when natural food is buried beneath a layer of solid ice, an artificial feeder instantly transforms from a mere convenience into a true lifeline. The sunflower seeds and suet cakes hanging from branches help tiny birds maintain their body temperature, allowing them to survive the winter night, which can be the boundary between life and death. This completely validates and honors your compassion. It is simply a matter of understanding the right timing. Yet, behind this kindness lie ecological consequences that few people anticipate. When we continuously provide a concentrated and easy food source, the primary beneficiaries are often not the timid native birds. Studies show that invasive and non-native species, most notably house sparrows and European starlings, dominate these feeders entirely. With their aggressive nature, they gather in large flocks, consume all the food, and drive native birds like cardinals out of the garden. Even worse, certain populations of invasive birds in urban areas have gradually lost their natural foraging instincts due to over-reliance on feeders and human waste. Meanwhile, native birds still retain their wild habits. Maintaining bird feeders indiscriminately can inadvertently create an ecological injustice, empowering invasive species to outcompete and push native birds into a position of weakness on their own home turf. This serves as a reminder that every intervention in nature, even when driven by the best intentions, requires deep understanding to avoid creating unintended harm. Each year, approximately 50% of small songbirds lose their lives during their first year due to the harsh laws of nature, with starvation being a leading cause. The birds you see at your feeder every morning are the resilient warriors that survive those natural filters. The core issue behind the declining bird populations today is not a lack of feeders, but rather the fact that we are accidentally turning our living spaces into ecological deserts. Pristine green lawns treated with regular pesticides or sterile exotic ornamental plants may please the human eye, but they hold absolutely no value for native birds because they cannot support a single caterpillar. The solution to truly helping our feathered friends does not involve buying more expensive bags of seed. It involves planting native flora. When you plant an oak tree, a patch of coneflowers, or a hedgerow of wild berries, You are recreating the very system of the invisible banquet that has functioned for millions of years. This is a self-sustaining food source that never runs dry, never freezes over, and represents the true home they have been searching for. The greatest act of kindness we can offer the avian world is not handing them a fistful of seeds through a window pane, but restoring a healthy ecosystem for them. Let your backyard become a part of the ancient, wild forest, a place where life naturally nurtures life. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. What native plants have you welcomed into your garden, and which birds have returned to dance on your branches? Let us spread love the right way.